It's a cold, quiet night. You're walking down an empty street when you hear a small, sad sound coming from a dark alley. You look closer and see a big, shaggy dog, shaking and alone. Most folks would just keep going, but not Oliver. He's a bus driver, a regular guy with a big heart. That night, he decided to help. He bent down, gave the dog some food from his pocket, and talked to it softly until it followed him home. He called the dog Tashy, a simple name that stuck with him. Then, one morning, he saw Tashy limping a little. Worried, he scraped together some cash and took him to the vet, hoping it wasn't anything serious. At the vet's office, things got wild. The vet checked for a chip under Tashy's skin and found one. The news hit hard. Tashy wasn't just some stray. He was a Tibetan Mastiff, a top-notch one, owned by a rich guy named Mr. Harrington. And the dog is worth $3.3 million. Oliver's jaw dropped. He couldn't believe it. Giving Tashy back could mean a big reward, money that could fix all his problems. He was stuck. Should he keep the dog he loved or hand him over and maybe get rich? Before we dive into the story, comment below, where in the world are you watching from? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Oliver, a guy who's up before the sun, gulping down cheap coffee, and heading to the bus depot. His life was like a song on repeat, same route, same stops, same everything. He'd drive his bus through the city, picking up folks heading to work or school, dropping them off, then doing it all over again. It wasn't a fancy job, but it kept a roof over his head. Money was tight, though. After rent and groceries, there wasn't much left. He dreamed of saving up for a little house someday, but that goal always seemed a million miles away. The bus was where Oliver spent his days. He knew every turn, every pothole, every face that climbed aboard. There was the sweet old lady who'd chat about her grandkids, the noisy teens who'd wave, and the sports nut who'd ramble non-stop. Oliver didn't mind, he liked people, and he was good at listening. But when his shift ended, and he locked up the bus, the silence was loud. He'd trudge home to his tiny apartment, eat a quick meal by himself, and flip on the TV. It was just him, a couch, and four walls. Simple, sure, but empty too. Oliver never said it out loud, but he missed having someone, or something, around. He'd had a dog as a kid, a scruffy mutt he loved to pieces, but now? His landlord wouldn't hear of pets. Plus, with his thin wallet, feeding another mouth felt like a stretch. Still, he'd toss bits of food to stray cats near the depot or stop to scratch a passing pup's ears. Those moments lit him up. He never thought about shaking things up, though, not until that one chilly night changed everything. It was late, and Oliver was walking home after a long day. The wind was sharp, cutting right through his coat. He kept his head down, hands jammed in his pockets, when he heard it, a tiny, sad sound, like a whine. He stopped dead, peering into an alley by the depot. At first, he saw nothing but shadows. Then, there it was, the big, shaggy dog huddled by a dumpster. The poor thing was a mess, dirty, matted fur, looking cold and starved. Oliver's chest tightened. No way could he walk away from that. He crouched down, fishing a half-eaten sandwich from his bag. "Hey there, little guy," he said softly, holding it out. The dog perked up, sniffed, and inched closer. It wolfed down the food like it hadn't eaten in days, then stared at Oliver with these big, pleading eyes. That was it, Oliver was hooked. He kept talking, gentle and calm, until the dog shuffled after him. He decided to call it Tashy, a name he remembered from some old story. It just fit. Right then, he knew he couldn't leave Tashy behind. Oliver's landlord was a stickler, no pets, no exceptions. Getting caught with a dog could mean big trouble, maybe even losing his place. Still, he couldn't ditch Tashy. So, he came up with a plan. Late that night, when the building was dead quiet, he snuck Tashy up the back stairs. He moved fast, heart pounding, praying no one would poke their head out. Once inside, he made a little bed with blankets and set out water. Tashy flopped down, exhausted but safe. Oliver watched him sleep, feeling nervous but good, like he'd done something right. From then on, Oliver and Tashy were a team. After work, he'd hurry home to take Tashy out, sticking to a quiet park where no one would snitch. They'd toss an old ball around, and Tashy would bound after it, tail wagging like crazy. Back at the apartment, Tashy stuck close, curling up by Oliver's feet or trailing him from room to room. For the first time in forever, the place didn't feel so empty. Oliver would ramble about his day, and Tashy would just listen, head tilted. It was simple, but it meant everything. "Okay, here's a nudge for you. Would you break a rule to save an animal?" Oliver and Tashy strolling through town, just another day. But something odd was in the air. People couldn't stop gawking. A woman with a stroller slowed down, her jaw dropping. "That's no ordinary dog," she blurted out. Oliver scratched his head, grinning. "He's just a stray I picked up." She squinted at Tashy, then shook her head. "Looks like he belongs in a mansion, not on a bus route." Oliver brushed it off with a chuckle, but it wasn't the first time he'd heard something like that. It was starting to feel like a pattern. Now, Tashy didn't act like most dogs you'd find wandering the streets. He had this air about him, quiet, confident, almost proud. When he sat, it wasn't a sloppy plop, it was steady, like he was posing for a portrait. His fur, even matted from the alley, caught the sunlight in a way that made it glow. And those eyes? They locked onto you, steady and deep, like he was reading your mind. Oliver saw it, sure, but he figured all dogs had their quirks. To him, Tashy was just a big, scruffy pal. Then there was how Tashy stuck by him. Not clingy, mind you, just solid. Like a shadow that didn't waver. One night, Oliver dropped his keys by the bus stop, and Tashy nudged them back with his nose, calm as can be. Another time, a storm hit, thunder crashing, wind howling, and Tashy didn't even blink. He just sat there, watching the chaos like it was nothing. Oliver felt a little prouder walking with him, like Tashy had this quiet strength. Still, he didn't think it was a big deal. Dogs are loyal, right? But the chatter wouldn't quit. At the gas station, a guy pumping fuel nodded at Tashy. "That's a fancy-looking dog," he said. "Bet he's got some special blood in him." Oliver waved it off. "Nah, he's just a stray." The guy smirked. "Strays don't look like that. He's got class." Oliver didn't know what to say, so he just paid and left. Later, a jogger stopped them mid-run. "Is he one of those pricey breeds?" she asked, panting. Oliver shrugged. "Doubt it. Found him behind a dumpster." She didn't look convinced. The funny looks kept coming. One morning, a mail carrier paused his route to stare. "He reminds me of those guard dogs from the mountains," he said. "Big money dogs." Oliver laughed. "This guy? He's too laid back for that." But the words lingered. "Mountains? Guard dogs?" He pushed it out of his mind, focusing on Tashy's wagging tail instead. Yet every time someone said stuff like that, a tiny question popped up in his head. What if they were onto something? No way, he told himself. Tashy was his buddy, not some fancy prize. Even little things started standing out. Like how Tashy handled himself around other dogs. At the park, a yappy little pup charged up, barking its head off. Tashy didn't bark back, he just stood there, tall and still, until the pup backed off, confused. A guy watching laughed. "That's a boss move. Your dog's got presence." Oliver grinned, proud, but didn't connect the dots. To him, Tashy was just chill. He didn't see what everyone else seemed to, something bigger, something rare. By now, Oliver couldn't escape the buzz. Everywhere they went, Tashy turned heads. A kid at the bus stop pointed. "He's like a bear." The kid's mom nodded. "More like a lion. Ever think about getting him checked out?" Oliver scratched his neck. "Checked out? He's fine." She smiled. "Not for health, for what he is. Could be worth something." Oliver's stomach did a flip, but he laughed it away. He's worth a lot to me, that's all. Still, that idea stuck with him, nagging at the back of his mind. Everyone saw Tashy as more than a stray, everyone but Oliver. He clung to his story, brushing off the stares, the comments, the hints. Maybe he didn't want to jinx it, or maybe he was afraid of losing the simple bond they had. But the world kept nudging him, louder each time. Soon, he'd have to face it. A trip to the vet was on the horizon, and it wasn't just about a sore paw anymore. Something wild was brewing, and Oliver was about to get the shock of his life. Hang on, this ride's just getting started. Oliver's pacing in his tiny apartment, eyes locked on Tashy. The dog's been favoring one leg for days now, a little limp that just won't quit. Oliver's no expert, but he knows something's off. Money's tight, bus driver pay doesn't stretch far, but Tashy's become his buddy, his shadow. So, Oliver makes a call. He digs into his savings, skips a couple of bills, and books a vet visit. "You're worth it, pal," he says, scratching Tashy's ears as they head out the door. They roll up to the vet's office, a small place with a flickering sign. Tashy's calm, like always, trotting beside Oliver despite the limp. Inside, the waiting room smells like wet fur and antiseptic. Oliver's nervous, tapping his foot, wondering if he's overreacting. Then the vet calls them back, a tall guy with glasses and a clipboard. He kneels down, looks Tashy over, and says, "Hey, big fella, what's going on with you?" Oliver shrugs. "He's been limping. Thought I'd get it checked." The vet starts poking around, gentle but thorough. He lifts Tashy's leg, presses on the joints, and nods to himself. "Could be a sprain," he says, "but let's take a closer look." Then he stops, squinting at Tashy's coat. It's thick, almost too thick, with that golden brown color that catches the light. The vet runs his fingers through it, tilting his head. "This fur, it's not typical." Oliver raises an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" The vet doesn't answer yet, just keeps staring, like he's piecing something together. Now the vet's moving faster, checking Tashy's ears, his eyes, even his tail. He steps back, hands on his hips, and mutters, "This isn't adding up." Oliver's getting antsy. Is he okay or not? The vet holds up a finger, grabs a little gadget from the counter, and says, "1 second. I'm gonna scan him." Oliver freezes. Scan him? Like, for a microchip? His mind spins. What if Tashy belongs to someone? But before he can ask, the vet runs the scanner over Tashy's neck. Beep. The vet's jaw drops. For a second, nobody talks. The vet's staring at the scanner like it's a winning lottery ticket. Oliver clears his throat. Doc? What's up?" The vet blinks, looks at Oliver, and says, "This dog, he's chipped. He's got a history." Oliver's stomach flips. History? Like, an owner. The vet nods, slow and serious. "Yeah. And not just any owner. Hang on, I need to pull this up." He taps at his computer, eyes darting over the screen, while Oliver stands there, heart pounding. The vet spins the monitor around, pointing at some text Oliver can't even read from where he's standing. "This is a Tibetan Mastiff," the vet says, voice low. Oliver scratches his head. What now?" The vet leans forward. "Tibetan Mastiff. Big dogs from the mountains, bred to protect herds. Rare as anything. And this one? His top tier, from a special line." Oliver's still lost. "Okay, but what's that got to do with Tashy?" The vet locks eyes with him. "Tashy is one. And he's worth a fortune." Oliver laughs, short, shaky, like he's waiting for the punchline. "A fortune? Come on." But the vet's not joking. He taps the screen again. "I'm serious. This dog's registered to a guy named Harrington. And his value, $3.3 million. Oliver's legs wobble. He grabs the exam table, staring at Tashy, who's just sitting there, tongue out, like nothing's changed. $3.3 million, he croaks. The vet nods. Do you have any idea what you've been walking around with? Oliver's brain's a mess. He picked Tashy up off the street, fed him scraps, let him sleep on the couch, and now this. But he was a stray, he says, almost pleading. Dirty, hungry, alone. The vet shrugs. Maybe he ran off. Maybe someone lost him. But that chip doesn't lie. He's a Tibetan Mastiff, and he's worth more than most people's houses. Oliver looks down at Tashy, who nudges his hand like it's no big deal. $3.3 million. For a dog. The vet's already on the phone, calling this Harrington guy. Oliver's half listening, still stuck on the number. $3.3 million. He could pay off his debts, quit driving the bus, maybe even get a real bed instead of that lumpy mattress. But then he catches the vet's words. Mr. Harrington's thrilled. He's coming to pick him up. Pick him up? Oliver's chest tightens. He's losing Tashy, just like that? The vet hangs up, turns to Oliver. He's been missing for weeks. Harrington's over the moon you found him. Oliver nods, but it's hollow. He kneels next to Tashy, rubbing his ears. Guess you're going home, huh? Tashy wags his tail, clueless. The vet claps Oliver's shoulder. Hey, you did good bringing him in. Might even be a reward in it for you. Oliver perks up. A reward? The vet grins. With a dog this pricey? Wouldn't surprise me. So, Oliver's still reeling from the vet's bombshell when the door swings open. In walks a guy who looks like he owns the world, sharp suit, shiny shoes, hair slicked back just right. This has to be Mr. Harrington. He's got that rich guy energy, the kind Oliver only sees from the bus window. The vet jumps up, all smiles, but Oliver just stands there, one hand on Tashy's head, waiting. Harrington doesn't even glance at Oliver at first. His eyes lock on Tashy, and his face softens, like really softens. There you are, you rascal, he says, voice cracking a little. He drops to his knees, suit and all, and Tashy bounds over, limp forgotten, tail wagging like crazy. Oliver's stomach twists. This isn't just some fancy owner. This guy loves Tashy. And Tashy? He's all over Harrington, licking his face like they've been apart forever. The vet clears his throat, trying to fill the silence. Mr. Harrington, this is Oliver. He's the one who brought him in. Harrington finally looks up, sizing Oliver up like he's a stray himself. You're the bus driver? He asks, standing and brushing off his pants. Oliver nods, feeling small. Yeah. Found him wandering a few weeks back. Took him in. Harrington's eyebrows lift. Weeks? He's been gone that long. Harrington starts pacing, hands waving as he spills the story. This dog, he bolted during a storm. We were up at the estate, big place in the hills. Thunder hit, gate was open, and poof, he was gone. Searched everywhere, flyers, rewards, nothing. Thought I'd lost him for good. He stops, looks at Tashy, then at Oliver. How'd you find him? Oliver shrugs, keeping it simple. He was by the bus stop. Dirty, skinny, no collar. Looked like he needed a friend. Harrington nods, like he's picturing it. He's a runner, this one. Always been stubborn. But his special family, you know. Oliver gets it, sort of. Tashy's been his family too, these past weeks. But $3.3 million special? That's a whole different league. Then Harrington claps his hands, snapping out of it. Right, you saved him. I owe you big. He reaches into his jacket, pulls out a checkbook, yeah, a real checkbook, like in old movies. Oliver's heart skips. Is this the reward the vet hinted at? Harrington scribbles something, rips the check off, and holds it out. $100,000. Fair. Oliver stares at the paper, numbers swimming in his head. That's life-changing cash. Debt gone. Rent covered. Maybe even a vacation. Harrington's already clipping a leash on Tashy, ready to go. Oliver's throat tightens. So, that's it? You're taking him now? Harrington pauses, confused. Well, yeah. He's mine. Been missing him like crazy. Oliver looks at Tashy, who's sitting by Harrington's side, happy as can be. This is real. Tashy's not his anymore, or if he ever was. Oliver's mind's racing. $100,000 is huge, no question. He could quit driving that creaky bus, stop worrying about every penny. But Tashy? That goofy dog who hogs the couch, who waits by the door every night. Oliver's gotten used to him, more than used to him. He's part of the routine, part of him. And now he's supposed to just hand him over? For money? Harrington's watching him, waiting. You okay, man? He asks, softer now. Oliver swallows hard. Yeah, he's a good dog. Harrington nods, like he gets it. The best. That's why he's worth so much. But hey, you did right by him. Most people wouldn't. Oliver forces a smile, but it's weak. He's stuck, cash in one hand, empty apartment in the other. Time slows down. Oliver kneels next to Tashy one last time, rubbing those big ears. You take care, buddy, he says, voice low. Tashy nudges him, clueless about the millions tied to his name. Harrington shifts, impatient but not rude. We've got a long drive. You sure you're good with this? Oliver stands, clutching the check. Yeah. Take him home. It's all he can say without cracking. Harrington heads for the door, Tashy trotting beside him. Oliver watches them go, that fancy leash glinting under the lights. The vet pipes up, you did a good thing, Oliver. But it doesn't feel good, not yet. The check's heavy in his pocket, $100,000 screaming at him to be happy. But as the door shuts, all he can think about is the quiet waiting for him at home. Oliver's back home, money from Tashy's sale, $100,000, safe in his account. But the apartment feels off. No dog hair on the rug, no bowl by the sink, no sound of Tashy stretching out. He drops onto the couch, staring at the walls. The cash is great, but his chest feels tight. Did he trade his buddy for it? He knows Harrington owned Tashy first, but that doesn't stop the ache. Night comes, and he barely sleeps, picturing Tashy's wagging tail fading out the door. Morning hits, and Oliver's got a plan. He heads to the bank, clears his debts, those bills that used to pile up like bricks on his shoulders. Then he swings by a realtor's office, puts money down on a small house. It's got a patchy yard, a creaky porch, nothing big, but it's his. The realtor hands him the keys with a smile, and he drives off. Should feel like a win, right? It doesn't. The house is just a shell without a dog to run around in it. Money fixed some problems, but it didn't fix him. Days drag on, and Oliver's bus shifts feel longer. He keeps looking out the window, half expecting Tashy to be waiting at the stop. One day, he's done waiting for the feeling to pass. He needs a dog, not some rare kind, just one to hang out with. He drives to the shelter, walks in, and it's chaos, barking, jumping, wet noses against the bars. He passes the fluffy ones, the loud ones, searching for something else. Then he spots a skinny mutt in the back, one ear bent, tail a little wonky. Sign says Buddy, here too long. Oliver crouches down. Buddy sniffs his fingers, cautious but curious. The worker pipes up, his chill, just not flashy. People walk right by him. Oliver doesn't need flashy. I'll take him, he says, grabbing the leash. No vet check, no big deal, just a dog and a guy who get each other. They head home, Buddy riding shotgun, staring out the window. Oliver pats his head. This time, I don't care what breed you are. Weeks roll by, and things shift. the house is Oliver's now, he's got the keys, the yard, and Buddy chasing birds out back. The bus job's still there, but he's thinking about cutting hours, maybe hitting the road with Buddy for fun. That $100,000 gave him space to breathe, but Buddy gave him a reason to get up. He wonders about Tashy now and then, hopes he's good with Harrington. The guilt's faded, though. Taking in a stray kicked off a chain of changes he never saw coming: new home, new dog, new outlook. One small move, like picking up a lost pup, can flip your whole world. Oliver didn't just help Tashy, he helped himself, and now he's got Buddy to prove it. It's not about the cash, it's about what sticks with you. Kindness has a way of bouncing back when you least expect it. So, if this story got you right in the heart, pass it on. Share this video with someone who could use a nudge, that good deeds still count for something. And stick around and subscribe for more real-life tales that'll inspire you.